Hi guys. Today, I brought notes. I prepared today to come live because I had made a live a couple of days ago, and hold on a second. I'm trying to still figure this here out. Okay, that's okay. I made some notes this time, being more prepared coming live. This time, I'm gonna take my time and talk about all the downloads that I have been getting. And I am, at this moment, actively starting to walk in my calling upright. And first thing I want to talk about is God is raising his church up. He's raising the standard in his church, and he's for the ones that are already in the ministry and that are getting persecuted for his name's sake, that have not done anything wrong, and people want to find fault in them. They will be a part of this new beginning. People want to make cliques, and that time is over. There is no white, black, there is no big I's and little U's. There are just servants. No matter what calling you walking in as a servant, whether you're a pastor or the one cleaning up the parking lot, we are all the same. I had made a post of a meme that said that the razor blade can cut a piece of hair and an axe can cut down a tree, but cannot cut a piece of hair. And the razor blade can cut the piece of hair, but cannot cut down the tree. That's pretty self-explanatory, but it's all saying the same thing. We were created to serve each other, God, the God in each other. Everybody has a story. And just because somebody's story sounds more astronomical than yours does not mean that their trials was harder than yours. It just only means that their contribution to their ministry in life, which everyone has a ministry, and I personally feel what was given to me, the truth is, everyone is chosen, but everyone does not answer the call. Everyone is empathetic. Everyone is narcissistic. Everyone doesn't walk in the same direction. We all come to a point in the road where you got to make a choice. You don't come to that point in the road one time in your life. With the mercy and grace of God, depending, you may come to that crossing several times in your life, or it may be one time in your life. You might go to that one party at 16 years old and decide to try some ecstasy, and somebody give you some fentanyl. That was your time to make that choice. And everything leading up to that time has prepared you to make that choice. So just as much bad that was instilled with you in you as far as your trials, just as much had been introduced to you, whether it been through cartoons or whatever. Everyone has an escape in life. God do not create us and then don't give us. That's the whole point of free will and choice. Some people feel like God may be punishing them. I used to feel as recently as last month. I always felt like it's so hard to please God, because it's just like I always just felt like no matter what I did, no matter how hard I tried, it was just never enough. I just felt like it's so hard to be saved. But in actuality, it's not. People make it hard to be saved because everybody always focusing on what somebody else is doing. And then you feel like you got to prove yourself. And then the people that's put in your life, sometimes they're supposed to do certain things. They don't do the things that they were supposed to do. But God will send you what's those things called? Floating device with the thing you put on in the pool. Anyway, he'll send you but a lot of times we don't see it because we're looking at the messenger. Be like, okay, well, look, I went out of town with my cousin. I'm just hypothetically. I went out of town with my cousin, and we supposed to have. Now, when I speak, I'm speaking on things that I'm experienced with. I don't live this lifestyle anymore, but I cannot relate stuff to stuff I don't relate to. I was a bad kid. I started running away, actively running away by 14, but started at 12. But actively, like out, like traveling, like nobody hearing from me from like 14. Really on by 16, but still went back home. But in any case, we go out and we are looking for the certain person that's there with us. So we're, instead of focusing on where our help comes from, whether you in the streets or not, rather than focus on the message, we look at the messenger. So okay, you go out of town with your cousin. So let's say y'all go out of town and y'all doing a party or whatever. She winds up leaving with some dude, didn't tell you or whatever, so now you stuck out there or whatever. And in the same token, somebody that you met that particular night offer you a ride, but you're scared to take the ride. They giving you good vibes, you're scared to take the ride or whatever, so you just say, you know what, forget that. I'm just gonna, instead of praying about it, seeing or whatever. And I'm talking from a real experience that happened to me, that I took the ride. I mean, I was driving back from a bad experience. So anyway, and instead of looking at the whole picture, we always just focus on the subtitles. You see what I'm saying? Instead of watching the movie and looking at everything, we just focusing on the, you know what I'm saying, the biggest part of it instead of the details. So that's one thing that God is raising his church back up, and it's not gonna be like this. It's not gonna be all this division, because this is a time for realness, genuineness. The stuff that made leaders, the stuff that creates a community. Back when in the 60s and stuff, black people, I can only speak on what I know about, right? So black people We had a unity, be like, hey, what's up, my brother? Hey, sister, what's up? Hey, oh, look, my sister got it going on, my sister. But now it'd be like, all that, be like, why she put on those shoes with that? Or, you know, and it's just like, the love, where is it? And why? Why did it leave? And what will it hurt? Just like, if I say, okay, so I'll be like, at the end of my live, I say I love you. Now I trust my feelings, and I know what I feel, the energy that I feel now. And I say I love you, and I feel this energy coming back like you don't even know who's watching you. So what you mean you love me? So, oh, that's just something cute to say. No, it's not something just cute to say. If somebody tell you they hate you, you believe that, you know? But you can't believe somebody love you or want the best for you or, have a genuine desire to see something good for you. I don't know why that is. That's just, and it's not going to stay that way. He is raising his church up. And, I don't understand why, if somebody really, really wants good for mankind, why they would come online. Why they would come online. Oh, somebody talking to me. I'm happily single. Yes, thank you. Though I really appreciate I'm so flattered. Thank you. So anyway, why would somebody come online and go out their way to disgrace somebody in order to build themselves up? People make whole channels based on people make whole channels based on what they feel someone else's shortcomings is when they don't even know the person in person. They have just as much information as you have, but they have went and dug up more. You see what I'm saying? And whenever you speak on somebody else that you don't know, I don't care if you're white or black or whatever. That's whack. Weak, whack, lame, played out, messed up, all that good stuff. That's what that is. Hate. That's what that is. Straight up hate. And it's not cool. Have some honor, have some dignity, have some respect for yourself. Don't go out your way to pull somebody else down. I'm really, really feeling a lot of people because when you don't say nothing and you try to be good, try to do right, try to be a good person. Do you know last year is the first time that I ever heard being nice is funny? Be like, oh, she's nice. What the heck does that? What's it? Then I saw this here movie, which I watch a lot of movies now, and which is part of my ministry, as I see, and I was watching Alex the Great, and the queen, she had came and she felt like she was making such a great impact, and she was just getting straight up dog. And she's like, she came, she gave the king a flower because they was just meeting for the first time as they got married. And I had the similar situation. I got married without meeting my husband in person before I got married. That was when I was a Muslim. So anyway, that was something I did against my calling that was really, really terrible of me. And it went against my calling. I mean, I was raised Christian, and I feel like I turned my back on God, and that's probably why I got so much. I mean, so much happened. I got 2 children that I have not seen for 16 years. Anyway, it's not about me. This is about what I came on here to talk about. I made a live a couple of days ago, and in the live I had said when people deliver to me, I have to check for the bananas, but I didn't finish that part. So it's just like, what is you talking about bananas? I said that because I don't give a tip until after they deliver. So I look at how the bananas look. Usually, if they try to be a smart aleck, they'll give me bruised bananas, and I always get like two bananas. And so they don't give me a bundle. So when they go to look for the two, they can pick. So if they give me bruised bananas, then I know how to tip them or not. So that's another thing I want to bring up. Um, my son, my youngest son, is 13. He is a miracle from God because I was told when I left Detroit. Before I left Detroit, I had a really bad accident, fell downstairs, and when I went to the hospital, they told me that I would no longer be able to have children. I was fine with that because everything that had transpired. And I was just thinking, okay, I'm not doing this no more. I'm not having no more children. Okay, that's fine with me. And at that time, I was like 27, 8, something like that. So I was fine with that. I had 3 already. And I had a gap between when I had uh, my oldest, a 14-year gap between them. And now I have I was actually having my son as my son was having his son. They're the same age, my youngest. So anyway, so I was told I could not have children. When I first got here, I was getting off of cocaine. And I mean, I was doing like an 8 ball. I had a partner that I was hanging with, which was my manager. And we was, I was doing like an 8 ball every couple of days, sleep for a couple of days, eat, you know what I'm saying? And then, so that was my cycle. And that was, no, yeah, that was right before I got here because after I lost my children, because all while I was married, all while I had them, when I had, okay, I'm not supposed to be going on to that. So anyway, I was not supposed to be having no more children, right? And I always dated older men, which because I'm quiet and because when I say older, my son's father is like 72 now because he's 13. But people will make it seem like I'm dating older men because I'm some kind of gold digger or something when that was never the case. I dated older men because I felt like all the experiences that I had in my life, no one could relate to those things. And I felt like older men had wisdom and I could learn from them as opposed to people my age because I've had so much more life experience. And then also, my father passed when I was young, and my uncle, who was like a father figure to me, he passed when I was young. And then when they both was out of my life or whatever, which is why I felt I have a ministry for younger women. But now I know my ministry is for everybody. But anyway, they felt like I was. So anyway, with that being said, uh, those was the reasons why, and this is the first time I'm saying that out loud because I never defend myself. I always just let it slide because once you start defending yourself, it looks weak to me. Especially because people gonna believe what they want to believe anyway, and then they can also go back and say, and then she gonna try to say that, people. So anyway, um, I thought I could not have any more children, and I was dating for 2 years my son's father, and on my birthday, I got pregnant on my birthday, and he thought he couldn't have any children naturally, and I thought I couldn't have any children, and then after I got uh, pregnant, he thought I was trying to trick him, and we completely fell out. But anyway, my son is a miracle, and I said all of that background because my son is autistic as well, and I learned so much from him. I never knew about autism before I had my son. And the reason I'm making that point about him being autistic is because I believe the reason why my ministry, I'm just coming into my ministry, and the reason why I've been uh, in isolation and everything had just been revealed to me, and he has a lot to do with it. Um, Anybody knows who's a teacher knows that never write in red ink when you are correcting someone on a paper. So I'm at home one day. My son just started middle school. Just started middle school. The school does not have an autism program. They only have a special ed program. My son only really has problem in communicating his, vocally, his words. But he's very, very smart. And they put him in a special ed class in his new middle school. Mind you, I moved to be across the street from his elementary school, and because I got neuropathy and I couldn't do the stairs no more, and so when I decided to move, I said, okay, let me move where he's going to be at, because with autism, you can go to the school sometimes, check on him and stuff. Okay, so I get called from the counselor one day, and they're like, now my son is spoiled. I spoiled my son. I know I spoiled my son. I didn't know I was going. And then I have my other two children that's gone. And then my oldest son, he's grown doing his thing or whatever. And, I feel that, some children can take being really nurtured, and he's that type who needs to be really nurtured, in my opinion. So I was going to do it anyway. I was going to spoil him. Anyway, so I make his lunch and walk to the bus, and I notice when we go to the bus, the other kids, they stand down or whatever. He goes on a different bus or whatever. So I noticed that he didn't really want me around, whatever. I had my neuropathy gloves on at that time, copper gloves on, because, and so I stood back or whatever, try to, just sort of give him his space. So how middle school kids, they don't want you crowding them. So anyway, I get his car. I'm thinking everything's good. He got his new clothes on, his new shoes on, got his lunch, got his new book bag. Everything is good. And mind you, just the week before that, I had got called up there because someone had a COVID outbreak. This was a couple of years ago. And so they wanted to get all the kids out or whatever. So then the next week they called me, I'm like, okay, what's up? Your son wants to commit suicide. I'm like, who? Are you sure you're calling the right number? My son? The one who I just bought, and I'm only bringing this up because it's going to make a point. The one I just bought and took back, I wound up taking it back after that, but bought a new Apple Mac Pro. That son, his father wound up replacing it though, So anyway, I goes up to the school, and I don't know what is going on. In fact, I did not find out about what happened until he had went to the place and came back and all this stuff. So anyway, I'm like, I go, and I don't know what the heck is going on, but now they have to evaluate him. I'm like, oh my God. So they don't have nowhere here in Augusta. They got to take him out of town to evaluate him. And if I don't sign, then they will investigate me. And I have already lost 2 children in Detroit. Not lost them, I signed my rights over. And that's another story. So I signed my rights over because I came to court hungover. The lawyer smelled alcohol on me. I was going to be sitting next to the judge. She said that they was going to take my rights from me. But this way, if I sign my rights over, then I'll be able to see them. Then my family would still be able to see them. I was getting visits at that time, and they was too. And their father was fighting for them. And my daughter was injured, and the lady who was going to get her was a nurse. And I was planning to start my life over because I had started back doing drugs. Okay, so I had to clear that up because I already know people gonna tell stories on me. So anyway, um, he had to go to this place and it was out of town. This was horrible. I mean, for him, for me, he was there for about 3 weeks and I could not visit him. And I don't drive anyway. But my mother, she's very there for me, and she's always been very there for me, and she would be willing to take me. So I was like really in a slump and everything, and after that situation happened, I learned a lot from him and that situation. I pulled him out of school, public school, because when he came back home, I took him to the bus stop and he had this anxiety attack. I was just like, okay, that's it. So I talked to his counselor. We set him up for online school and everything. And so he's online school now. And that's been for a couple of years now. And that, when I was young, I wanted to be a teacher or a nurse. And in doing this move, it had disciplined my daytime because after I had got neuropathy, I initially I was so depressed and so sickly, um, and that was the reason why I was really down and out for the count. I was so sick and so depressed. If it was not for God and the fact that I prayed that God allowed me to raise my son, that's a prayer of mine. I want to raise him. I want to raise him till he's grown, so I can instill in him the things that I've learned and I want for his life. So in doing that, I've learned a lot of patience. Boy, I tell you, that boy be trying me. No, not no more, but in the beginning, he's really a good guy. You know, my son is such a good son. I love my son. All my children are good. Okay, so I said that about him being autistic because we be looking at a way, we be looking at how messages come to us. If it come through a child or if it come through someone who is in an unfortunate situation, it just is not as, profound. Or if it comes from someone who doesn't have status or whatever, a lot of times it's not as, accepted or put on fertile ground, Okay. And I want to say I'm not standing up for anyone in the church as far as, yes, I am standing up for people in the church. I'm standing up for the people who are innocent. But the people who are not, they will be exposed and, and all that. But in any case, we're supposed to be keeping our eyes on God. They're still people. We're supposed to be keeping our eyes on God. And we make these people like gods when the message is coming from Him, not from them. And they're servants just like we are. But when you are in that position and you got those words coming out your mouth and you feeding His flock, God do not play about when you talking to His people. You better be when you see people online talking, don't think that they, if you see them more than a few times, don't think that they can get online and just say anything. God don't stand for that. I don't care what you teach it. If you teaching something to anybody online, if you are uh, outright scamming them, you will be exposed and you will go down like real quick. You don't play that. I know that he don't play that because as soon as I got online, started talking, and he told me to. As soon as I started, I'm like, y'all be humble. Be humble, y'all. The next day, that's when this incident happened about, I had to go into a store and the manager had tried, you mean not tried me, but did something real, raggedy, and I'm just like all emotional and stuff. I was like, I failed. I failed. And I just said that, and I'm like, but all the words, everything that is nothing worth, the wrath of God. He is in control of everything. So, anyway, I feel like we also can bring attention to stuff that the church don't disagrees with without bringing shame to the people who do it. Like, I want to say it's a lot I'm still learning and I don't understand yet. But I don't take everything in. I had made a statement on my last live that I'll be flipping and I'll see different title and I just click on or whatever. No, I wasn't saying it like every title I click on, because there do be some things I don't agree with, like tarot cards and stuff like that. I don't agree with that stuff, and psychics stuff like that. I don't agree with, and there's a lot I don't know, but it's just something that goes against what I believe at this time. So I don't take that in. I don't even watch it because it's something that, like, whenever you are, and that's another thing I want to bring out. I said I don't read the Bible. I read the Bible as far as I'm just now starting to, as I became an empath, I found out, I started changing spiritually. And everything before that was me reading the Bible. In fact, my mother was my pastor, and I had Bible study with her every Sunday before I did my performance, or not performance, but when I say performance, it's my praise and worship, but I'm actually getting dressed and consecrate myself and all that morning and getting in spirit and stuff. So anyway, so I was, I know I have a firm foundation in what I believe. You cannot go looking at this and that and everything else if you don't have a firm foundation in what you believe. That's how it happened. I became Muslim because at the time I was a exotic dancer and stuff, and I had got with a Muslim, and I wasn't really, like, I didn't have no real foundation in church. It was just like I was raised in church, but it was because I had to go. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, but they too strict and certain things. I'm like, well, when I first met him, he was saying that that it's only one God, and everything sounded, which I was trying to find a way to put into doing skits without disrespecting Muslims, because I have a lot of respect for Muslims, and I've learned a lot from my 4 years practicing being a Muslim, and like I said, we take what apply and let the rest fly, and so when I had became a Muslim, and I was able to learn a lot about that culture, and I feel like if it's something that you're not if you don't have a firm foundation in what you believe and you're strong and firm. See, I can listen to other people and still have my own opinion. Take from them what their opinion is and have my own perspective. But at one time, I could not do that. I was not mature enough in spirit to do that. You know what I'm saying? But now I am mature enough in spirit to do that because I ask God for God's guidance and for Him to lead me. That's why I'm mature enough. Only because I've surrendered myself. Not because I'm more smart or anything. Only because I've had enough sense to surrender myself. And my experiences in life has led me to understand that being humble and knowing that, um, understanding the lessons that I've learned and not taking anybody else's lessons in and ingesting them as they have. You know what I'm saying? So I'm able to, guys, I'm able to, like a lot of you guys are able to, listen to different things. Like some people are really spiritual where they can't even, like, listen to cursing and stuff like that. And I feel like everything is intentions. If you are sitting there cursing somebody out, like I don't curse at all in my personal life, but I might do a skit and it might have some curse words, but I'm not flaring them at anybody. It's a part of the, um, okay. Well, at one time I edited out the cuss words. Yeah, I shouldn't be doing the cussing. Okay, so I'm gonna start back editing out the cuss words because I was about to make an excuse and I'm not supposed to make an excuse for that. But I'm a But what I was gonna say was, I believe that it's all about intentions, which I still believe everything is all about intentions. But I'm just now stepping up in my calling, so now I'm being called to a higher standard. Just right now, I'm just being called to a higher standard because I was about to make an excuse, and you can't come before God's people and say something that, if you're really trying to be, you know, which everybody who, I believe most everybody who is they are walking in their truth. It's no way you can constantly come from, come from the gut and not be speaking your truth, especially if God is allowed you to do it regularly. Um, Loved ones, I want to say to you guys, we all get hurt in life. And some people, they don't turn narcissistic. Some people are narcissistic. And I want to say that being left behind is not always in the natural. Some narcissistic people will be left behind because of their pride. But everyone is not a lost cause. So, for those of you who don't have anybody to pour into you and tell you how beautiful and how special and how important you are, very important. Everyone is important. If you're breathing right now, you have a purpose in this day. You have a strong purpose in the people that's around you, and even the people that's not around you who know of your existence, are affected by your life and your energy. So if you don't have anybody that is really a empathic person or someone who has went through life and um, got hurt and still sort of know how to love on people or whatever, it's not a lot of people who can. And because of that, there are a lot of channels, YouTube channels, that you can go to for just motivation and inspiration. Before I found out that I'm an empath, um, I was going through a very depressed time because I just felt like I just kept attracting a certain kind of person. I just felt like, why? And I started, this time, instead of trying to get get back in the washing machine, get back in the dryer, go back through another cycle. I decided to turn on some positive. Started to listen to Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey, and where they give the motivational, and different YouTube channelers that are real big channelers that I don't even know their name, but on YouTube algorithm, once you start watching a certain thing, then they'll bring other things to you. And so I want to tell you, and then there's the Advancement channel. That's a really good channel, the Advancement Network. In fact, I did a skit, and in background I purposely had on a TV channel the Advancement Network, and the reason being is because there's his brother on there, and he talks. Usually, he's standing in the middle of nature, and he has a very comforting voice, and he speaks life into you. He he just speaks, you know, and when you hear that, you could say, "Well, he's not speaking to me," because you could say that he's not speaking to you, or you could say, "I accept that. I take that. That's for me. If it's for you." And you can listen to, even before you start your meditation journey, if you don't meditate or don't know how to meditate, which I'm going to do a video about that, and it's very important. I might do it today because I'm feeling led to talk today. So, no, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, you can listen to motivational Joyce Meyer. She's really good. Preachers are really good, but right now it's just that what I'm speaking on in particular right now is about someone speaking encouraging words into your spirit, because it's important to be lifted up. And it's hard to be seen as a happy person and weird and stuff. It's just like you almost have to drink or do drugs just not be your authentic self if you are a happy person, because it's not accepted. And so yeah, if you are that type who don't have really people who really emotional type of people or whatever. My mom, my mother, which is the only person I really talk to. My mother, my uncle, those are the only two people I talk to outside of my children. Well, my son, so she really speaks good to me. We're religious, and everything, but some people are just not really a nurturing type, and she'll tell you, not a nurturer, and that's who I am. Everybody can't be nurturing. That would be make for a soft world. You know what I'm saying? We gotta have some hard ice cream. Can't have Mr. Salty all the time. We gotta have a balance, But that don't make a person, just because a person can't pour into you, that doesn't mean it's not available to you, is what I'm trying to say, okay? So make sure you engage in some good nurturing talk, because it's just like watering your flowers, It's very important, okay? Um, I think that's it. Also, success is what your idea is of success. Happiness is free. Don't wait until you're rich to be happy. Don't die before you're dead. And you're only as old as you feel. Kindness is not an act, it's a reflection of your soul. Your altitude determines your attitude determines your altitude. And I love you, love you, love you, love you. Mwah. Peace.